Do you know what most people get wrong about selfishness? They think it has to be loud, aggressive, obvious, but the most damaging kind of selfishness is actually the quiet kind, the one that hides in plain sight, drip-feeding imbalance into a relationship until it collapses under the weight of one person's constant prioritization. This is the kind of selfishness that looks like this. One person always decides what matters. One person's time, energy and feelings are always the priority, and one person gets the benefit of the doubt, the space to breathe and the right to be too tired, too busy or too stressed, while the other silently adjusts around them. It's emotional convenience dressed up as doing their best. I'd like you to imagine a houseplant sitting on the windowsill. Only one side ever gets sun. At first it bends towards the light naturally, but over time it starts to lean too far. Eventually the stems weaken and the plant breaks. That's what happens in these relationships. One person bends, then bends more, and then bends again, and eventually they snap. But here's the kicker. By the time that breaking point arrives, the selfish partner usually still doesn't understand what went wrong, because they've been fed and watered emotionally every step of the way, and they had light and you didn't. Unlike overt narcissism or controlling behaviour, this kind of selfishness often flies under the radar. It's not marked by explosive outbursts or grand betrayals. It's subtle, it's cumulative. And because it's so gradual, the person on the receiving end often doesn't realise what's happening to them until they're depleted. This kind of selfishness slowly erodes your sense of self-worth, makes you question your fairness, and when you try to speak up, teaches you to feel guilty for having needs, conditions you to settle for less because it's just how they are. You start saying things like, "I know he doesn't mean to. She's just going through an awful lot right now. They're not good with emotions." And before you know it, you're the one justifying the one-sidedness. Here's the truth. Selfishness isn't about what a person does. It's about how often they do it and who they do it to. We all have selfish moments. We all get tired, distracted, overwhelmed. But when someone is consistently unavailable, dismissive, self-focused, or emotionally non-reciprocal, and it's always you adjusting, that's not a rough patch. That's a pattern. And you cannot build love on a pattern of imbalance. Here's the real mind twist. People on the receiving end of this behaviour often try to fix it by giving more. You start walking on eggshells, you'll over-explain, you'll become the emotional caretaker, you'll fill in the blanks, carry the weight, and hope they'll wake up and finally see you. But they won't, because people who benefit from your silence have no incentive to hear your pain. Selfishness trains you to disappear and then makes you feel guilty for wanting to come back. So let's look at some solutions. Firstly, name it. Stop calling it them being stressed or bad timing. Start calling it chronic emotional selfishness. And then step 2, track the energy. Look at how often your needs are pushed aside. How many times you've given them grace, space and softness only to get crumbs in return. And step 3, reclaim your needs. Say it clearly. This doesn't feel like a partnership. I need to feel considered, not just tolerated. And I'm not here to orbit around someone else's life. And step 4, hold the mirror. Selfish people often don't realise how selfish they are because no one ever makes them look at it. So if you're brave enough to show them the reflection, do it once and then watch what they do with it. If they lean in, there's hope. If they blame you, you have your answer. Love is a mutual inconvenience. It's a give and take. It's someone hearing you even when they're tired. It's someone showing up even when it's not perfect timing. It's someone asking how you are without it being an afterthought. If you keep getting less, don't keep lowering the bar. Raise your standards or walk away with your dignity. And on my closing thoughts, it's not selfish to want a relationship that feeds you. It's survival.